25th, 2020 Cumberland County Commissioners Workshop meeting. Please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance by saying, I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. at this time of the time. Okay, hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on to agenda 3. We have a couple employee recognitions, and we will begin with Commissioner Eichelberger presenting Deborah Green with an award for 25 years of service to Cumberland County. Deborah Mander, please come forward.
Congratulations.
All right, y'all know we get to do this from time to time. I always love the opportunity to bring back again a lot of folks who've been with us for quite a while. Deborah, 25 years. Am I reading that right? You were hired in February 1995. Probation officer 1, and then promoted in July of 2001 probation officer number 2. So, tough job. And you got some real characters in that office too, so I'm sure.
Half of them are here.
Back then, so 25 years. So we'll just present this to you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners to say thanks. And Andy, Jim,
Sure. Yeah, I just want to congratulate Deborah on 25 years of service. Deborah has a similar story to a lot of other people from Cumberland County. She worked in Franklin County for a short period of time, and then came to Cumberland County where she's made this her career. So I think that's a testament to the county that we work for. She's made numerous contributions. She did achieve her master's degree in 1998. And in addition to that, her contributions throughout our department for 25 years is many to list. I would say, she's a leader. She's taken leadership roles in a number of initiatives within our department, most notably in 2010 when we went to become an evidence-based practice department. Deborah was really instrumental in implementing the YLS, which is our assessment tool, and really to help facilitate that. She's a staff trainer. She's a master trainer within our department. And on a day-to-day basis, she's always looking for ways to improve our efficiency and ways to make our department better. So I think anybody that knows Deborah would know she has a genuine interest for the youth and families that we serve, and I think she's an asset here in Cumberland County, and I just want to thank her for her service. Thank you, Deborah.
Take some blanks. Thank you. Wow. Go ahead.
Okay, our next award will be presented for 20 years of service to Cumberland County. Amanda Bonaniani, please come forward. Congratulations, Linda.
Okay. Having served with the MHIU board since my time here, I recognize Linda as the person who always brings us the good news on the budget. So, and it is good news, right? But it's a tough job. The money part is getting tougher, we know. So, greatly appreciate what you do to keep us managing our money well, so we can provide the services well. 20 years, that's impressive. Not quite 25. but it's very impressive. We hope we're gonna have you up here in a couple of years, several years, 5 years.
There's a couple people in this room that agree with you, but there's one person that might not.
Anyhow, so, of course, our token from the Board of Commissioners, token of appreciation for your 20 years of service to us. Thank you very much. And I'm sure there's some folks who want to chime in and provide some detail on your record of service.
So I've had the pleasure of supervising Linda for the past 5 years. And over those 5 years, Linda has become a go-to person of mine. I can call her and bounce ideas off of her or ask her opinion. She's developed a uncanny knack for knowing anytime I make a mistake, and she's more than willing to call me and let me know about that. So she fully understands the high expectations of the finance staff of the county, and she also has those same expectations of the board member, so we appreciate that. So on behalf of the finance office, congratulations for your 20 years and for your 25 years.
Linda was joking with us on the way over. We're saying 3 people to talk about me. I said, think of all the ammunition. And what I thought that was, when you have somebody who served in the community for 20 years, comes with that a lot of operational knowledge. And just like Ron shared, Linda has vast knowledge about the inner workings of our departments, not just fiscally, but programmatically. And that speaks so well of her skill set. And so when we start to talk about, because every now and then she uses that R word that we all think is a curse word. And so we encourage her to think about that and to help us through a transition of retirement because of the vast amount of knowledge that she comes with in her role. And we appreciate her leadership and her support every day.
So I sort of have a funny story. It's Dr. Seuss week. So a few years back, when Sylvia was still here, I got these little characters, thing 1 for Sylvia, thing 2 for me, and she got Conscience, the fish. And because that's what she does, she runs around after us and says, no, can't do that.
And the fish sits on my desk.
And the fish is on her desk.
Well, thank you for your service. Anybody else? Okay, we'll do the photo there.
Take down pictures again.
Who's here discussing on the purchase of property at 601 West 7th Street, Canonsburg, for inspired by you.
Good morning. Working with our downtowns, our communities, and our businesses, we're able to track trends. We know that food and drink, distilleries, cafes, bakeries, and such are still very, very hot. And right behind them is the health, wellness, and fitness trends. Here today, we're going to be the first to hear about an emerging trend in Cumberland County, sweeping the county. In 2020, so in the past 65 days, we have opened 3 businesses. We've assisted 3 businesses in Cumberland County who have moved from the garage to Main Street. These are people who have outgrown the garage and they have now bricks and mortars, and I would like to introduce you to one of them, and that's Corey Leister. This is Corey. She started a business in 2015 called Inspired by You. She's very inspired. The business refinishes cabinetry and case goods, furniture, and other materials for your kitchen. Most of her work is in kitchens. Or dining room, family room, she shed, lamb garage, anything that you can think of. Truly inspired, she started in 2015 with 4 projects that brought in $6,000. Last year, 42 projects for $146,000. And she is on track and projects that this year she'll take on a new project every single week. She needed more room, obviously, had outgrown the garage, And with our help, our downtown program services assistants, we found a perfect location for her at 601 West Simpson Street in Mechanicsburg. So I know some of you, because I follow you in work many days, Karen, are very familiar with this property. It was the Napa Auto Parts for many years. It sold in December 2016 to Maryland residents who have the Battery Warehouse chain of businesses, including one on East Simpson Street that they will relocate to this location. She will have the middle unit. That's 4 times as big as her garage. So she won't have to worry about working around camping equipment or soccer gear or anything else that she might, spare tires, anything else that she might have there. This will be her production facility, as well as a studio where she'll do her podcast for the industry and speak to her over 17,000 Facebook friends, a little media center of her own. A classroom for the DIY crowd and those who are looking to do the same sorts of things that she does commercially in their own homes, training. And a retail store, a showroom where she can showcase her goods, her products, her inventory, her supplies, to do all of those things and sell her own paint line, which she will introduce this year. And we'll soon be able to say for another product made in Mechanicsburg. We always say the fit matters most, and that's particularly true with a business like this, where there are certain things that you need. So she has oversized overhead doors at one end of the unit. That's terrific. Loading and unloading. The other side of the unit is the customer area, which is right off the parking lot, has full glass windows and doors across the front. She's very close to the historic district and all of those wonderful vintage homes. Those owners looking to refresh or renew the look, but still keep it appropriate to the home itself, as well as the 600 new residential units that are going up in nearby Legacy Park. Leicester's $35,000 CPG shop setting loan request is for equipment, furnishings, fixtures, inventory, supplies, and some amount for working capital. She needs a new and bigger spray booth and the exhaust system that goes with it. Sanders, shelving, she's all about that. Look at this little paintbrush there. The project adds to the neighborhood, offering something really, really different. You know, in Mechanicsburg, we are very much a crafter sort of community. We have a lot of people that specialize in this and that, and it's wonderful to bring them all together. This puts a unit back into use that hasn't been utilized for 3 years, and with a proven business looking to expand, grow right here in their own backyard. She works with area contractors and businesses, cross-promoting with them and sharing their services and their expertise. She'll put another $45,000 into the project. A lot of that is for the ventilation system for the spray booth, for a total project cost of $88,000. She is a tenant. She is not purchasing the building. She is a business tenant. The loan will have a 2% interest rate, amortized over 25 years with a minimum payment at 7 years, and will be secured by a second lien on the residence where she and her family live, owned by her parents who live across the street. And that's Dr. Larry and Carol Sullenberger, 1100 East Powderhorn Road in Mechanicsburg, as well as liens on the equipment and personal guarantees from Corey and her parents. As a condition of the loan, she'll create one full-time job or part-time equivalents within 2 years of settlement. Traditional retail is sluggish. It's struggling. Macy's, Gap, Year-One, and many others are reducing the number of bricks and mortar shops that they have. But in Mechanicsburg, it's all come because you can clear the kitchen table, your office. You can rid the rec room of stuff, which is your warehouse, and you can get out of the garage, your production facility, and we'll help you find a wonderful place where you'll be wildly successful. A new business address. We appreciate your consideration. We appreciate your support of our downtown program services to assist businesses like this. And invite any questions that you might have.
No, I think you've answered all my questions. The good location is a good, I think, a good profession, especially with our county.
discussing budget resolutions 2020-5.
Criminal Justice Services is increasing revenues and expenses by $7,500 for a donation by the Cumberland County Bar Association to the Opioid Intervention Corps, and there's no impact to the general fund.
Any questions for Ron? Thank you, Ron. Next, I'll call on Stacy to discuss agenda item 6, contracts and grants. Stacy?
Thanks, Sandy. There are no existing contracts, contract extensions, or addenda with no additional cost or increase to the county. So we'll move on to agenda item 6.2, which consists of new contracts, vendors, services, grants, and contracts with increases or decreases to the county. And I'll begin by calling on Lisa Ryder to discuss the contract for children and youth. Lisa?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to ask for approval for Presley Ridge for fiscal year 1920. They provide foster care services as well as in-home services. The one foster care program, there's actually a $9.72 decrease, which is about 12%. That's due to the state's maximum allowable coming in lower than what they had projected. And then the in-home service, they're asking for a 72-cent increase, which is a 1% increase in their in-home services. Any questions?
Thank you.
Melissa will be joining us via video teleconference to discuss the coastal hospitality contract. Melissa?
Good morning. The coastal hospitality is an agency for cooks and dietary personnel. As you're aware, we're having trouble staffing, and we were able to get coastal hospitality to offer us a contract. The fee is $19.96 an hour for personnel that they are able to send to us. The original contract was planning out to have 2 different people. They've been only able to provide us with 1. Any questions on that?
I have a question, and I hope that you can hear me, because on your end, you're a bit muffled.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know how to fix that.
That's all right. I just want to make sure that you can hear me. So we're going to contract with Coastal Hospitality for temp help in the dietary department, but we need 2 people and they can only give us 1.
That's correct.
And what will we be doing about the second person that we need?
We keep trying to recruit. I had talked to 4 different agencies that provide dietary and housekeeping services agents-wise. Coastal was the only one that would service our area. The others only service Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and would not even consider talking to me.
Okay, so this is for 1 full-time person?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
On a temporary basis.
Okay. And how long is this contract for?
It is, we call it with our need. So
Okay.
it's a continuous contract.
Okay, so you could, let's say that suddenly you managed to hire 2 people in dietary, you could eliminate the need for coastal hospitality without a problem?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Melissa, have we ever done this before, contracted with an outside source for dietary help?
Not to my knowledge, and definitely not during my tenure.
Any additional questions? Thank you. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Next, Denny Lebo will be discussing the contract for the Clerk of Courts and Promontories Office. Denny?
Yeah, the addendum is to add 6 more viewer concurrent licenses to our on-base system. This is how new users access the documents in both the voluntary and the clerk of court system, including the judges who use the system now to work on many of their petitions and motions, which we've added over the years. Like 2 years ago, I guess, Dale and I added that. So it's being used more and more all the time. We have about approximately 350 users now that can use it, they can access it at any one time. Concurrent license means that it doesn't stick with any particular person, but when somebody goes on, they're using that license until they're done, or until If they don't keep using it, automatically puts them off. So we had started out with 25 licenses and we're a total of 31. And Dale and I will be splitting the cost of this. It's coming out of our automation funds. There will be no tax dollars used for this project.
Any questions for them?
Is this a one-time cost and years ago?
There's a yearly
Maintenance
cost.
fee.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Dennis. Next, Jonathan Mays will be discussing the contract for the district attorney's office for COD. Jonathan?
Yes, this is to join York County's online database for precious metal purchasing. Currently, licenses are obtained through the sheriff's office, and a business that purchases gold, silver, rings, jewelry, they are required to report those sales to the district attorney's office. And currently that happens via mail or fax. Once those items come in, then our staff has to enter those into a searchable format, so if law enforcement gets a report of stolen articles, they can go in and search that. This would put the onus on the business to upload that into the system, and then we wouldn't have a person dedicated to do that function, and law enforcement would have more timely access to that, and they wouldn't have to work through us to search that database. With York County, they created the project, have a couple of counties involved. It's a buy-in for us of $10,000, and it's $500 per year thereafter. As more counties join, there is a reimbursement fee that would come back to the counties that are participating with that.
Any questions for Jonathan?
So it's not just jewelry, it would be any precious metal?
Yes, sir.
So like some gold bars.
Well, basically, it would be you're selling it. So if you go to one of these businesses to sell it, then they are required to hold it for a period of time, and then they can go and either sell it or maybe in jewelry, they can melt it down and move it on. But we see a lot, especially with thefts to support opioids and that kind of thing. People stealing these things from neighbors, relatives, burglaries, and we routinely get law enforcement requests to search those items. And a lot of times they're already gone by the time that we can connect them.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Next, Eric Ranovich.
I forgot to mention one important fact. We run into problems on the last month, in 2 months actually, of more people wanting to get on. They were getting messages saying they could not get on. That's why we're doing this. If they just could roll a Sunday Sunday, we just add 6. There it is. It's not that neat.
Thank you. Next, Eric Ranovich will be discussing a grant for the district attorney's office for FID. Eric.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a grant modification request. We actually have this grant in-house already from PCCD. It's a project modification request. We should change the equipment that we're buying with it. We looked at one set of equipment and one of the instruments, we looked at kind of tank, maybe one we had a demo. So we changed what we're purchasing, and it's just a formality from PCCD while we're being marked.
Commissioners, we're going to move down to agenda item 1, since Eric is here. Have him talk about the capital project request for the district attorney's office, FLDR, regarding the DMV enhancement in the evidence process.
Sure. Good morning, Commissioner. Since we have that money in the PMR, I'd like to spend it. This is a $97,670.44, and this is to purchase equipment that helps us find the latent fingerprints on various substrates with more laboratory for submitted evidence. That's all covered under the grant.
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
Sure.
Next, Kirk Stoner is joining us by video teleconference to discuss 2 grants for finance liquid goods. Kirk?
Good morning, Commissioners. The first grant, we'll talk about the change order for the Woods Bridge project.
We have a change in water line specifications from the Pennsylvania American Water Company, so it resulted in a small price increase of about $21,000. No impact on project schedule or anything like that, just a change in standard from the time we left the project until now. No questions on that. We'll move on to the second one. The second one is a contract for HRG for engineering and construction inspection services for the Hertzler Bridge project. This is a rehabilitation project, and that's the need for the change. Back in 2014, we had a contract with HRG to do a full replacement of that bridge. Since that time, we've changed our plans to do a full rehabilitation instead of the replacement, which reduces our contract price with HRG from about $635,000 down to $207,000. Anticipated construction cost for the rehabilitation is $1.2 million. We have that budgeted as part of our bridge capital improvement program.
So, Kurt, this is a rehab, not a replacement, and if that's a correct statement, how much more life do we expect out of the bridge?
Sure, I think with the rehab bids, we should see, probably 50 years out of it. I have to talk to HRG for specific numbers, but it is a cost-effective measure given the transportation need back there. We're only seeing about 630, 700 vehicles per day back there.
Sounds good.
Any additional questions for Kirk? Thank you, Kirk. Next, Justin Smith is here to discuss contracts for ESRI. Justin?
Morning, Commissioners. Esri is the vendor that we use for all of our GIS software. One of the contracts is for continual maintenance for planning, GIS, assessment, vector control, and 911. And that would be at the $24,982 contract. This is for continued maintenance, upgrades, and technical support. The second contract for $10,000 is to restart a server license so that we can install a server license on the 911 Hexagon solution. And that will be $10,000 to restart the license, and then after that, it'll be $5,000 a year.
I have a question. So I have two documents in front of me.
Yes.
Yeah, one is blank. One is for ESRI, for GIS software maintenance. It covers all ESRI licenses. It says the new contract total is $24,982.
Yes.
52. Okay, the second one is for GIS software maintenance. There's no dollar amount on it. Is that the 10,000?
That would be the $10,000 one. Yes.
Okay. We should amend this document.
I agree.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Sure.
Holly Sherman is here to talk about the team approach contract for human resources. Holly?
Good morning, Commissioners. We just recently had our talent and training development manager certified to issue the DISC assessment and then provide follow-up training for managers and employees on how to utilize that resource within their department. So this contract is with Team Approach in order for us to be able to purchase the credits that would allow her to send the assessment links out to the employees and then get back the reports. The amount of the contract is based on a projection that we have through the end of 2021 on those departments' employees we would like to issue the DISC to over that time period.
Any questions?
I'm going to ask you a question about the specifications on the approval process form. This says it's for a one-year term.
It is because 1 year would be not in line with their pricing, so it is actually until 12/31/2021 is the length of the contract.
And when would it commence?
Upon signature.
So it would be for longer than a year?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Do we need to amend this document to show that? Because it says 1 year term.
Possibly. I'll have to take a look at that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks.
I agree with that also. sometimes these documents don't have a lot of information that would help, unless there's things like that. Just a general statement. Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Next, I'll call on Sue Carval to discuss the two contracts for MHIDDs.
Yes, so we have two contracts. The first one is for early intervention. It's for Nicole Custer. She's an occupational therapist. We've had an increase in occupational therapy services, and the increase for her contract will be $8,503. And for both of these contracts, this is state dollars. Okay. The second contract is the Advocacy Alliance, which houses our healthcare quality unit, which is our nursing unit. And they are getting extra funding to do the health risk screening tool, so we have an amendment of $40,766. Any questions?
Are these state dollars?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have just a comment. I really like hearing where the money is coming from. It's good to know that, but there really is nowhere on these forms to put that.
Sure.
Maybe we should add that. Thanks.
Thank you, Sue. Justin Miller is here to discuss the grants for recycling and waste. Justin.
Good morning, Commissioners. So DEP has recently opened another round of what they call their Section 902 recycling project development grants. We have historically used these to purchase our yard waste equipment in support of our municipalities at yard waste sites, encouraging recycling of yard waste. The grants have become more competitive over the years to the point where they now will not, you have to sit out a round. If you got an award in the last round, you're not eligible to apply. In the current round, you have to wait a year. We received the grant 2 rounds ago, so we are eligible. We're recommending that, and once again, this is just submittal of the grant application, your approval, applying for funding for a new trauma screen. Our current trauma screen is just over 20 years old, showing its age. And with the recent purchase of some equipment in the last few years that bring our fleet, I think it would modernize it very well. It is a 90-10 split, up to a maximum DEP share of $350,000. If we went to that level, then the applicant would have to match at $38,889. That money would come from a fund that our municipal participants pay into to buy new equipment. So at the end of the day, the grant and that money would cover the purchase costs. The money would not come out of solid waste fund. Usually takes DEP till about December to review these and decide who they're going to award. Then at that point, if we're selected, they would send us an actual agreement. I would come back to you, and we could decide at that point if we officially want to enter into the agreement. Once you do that, you have 2 years to do your project and ask to get your reimbursement back.
Should have noticed on your summary that they've been typically doing these once per year. Did they skip a year?
They did. It's funded by the $2 per ton tipping fee that was set to expire in 2020. And they had to have a plan prior to that, whether or not they would be able to continue these after that. The legislature did extend that fee indefinitely, but prior to that, they were really skipping several years, not knowing the future of that funding source.
So refresh my memory, did they waive that requirement of sitting out a funding round if there's extended period?
They have not waived that.
They've never waived that. All right.
Well, I should say that that didn't used to be there. They added that as the grants became more competitive. And then when they extended the fee, they're continuing to do that.
So it should now continue on.
I think that's going to be their position, yeah, because they continue to become even more competitive every round.
Any additional questions for Justin? Thank you, Justin. That's all I have, Sandy.
Thank you. Next, we move on to agenda item 7, and Sandy Barrera will be joining us by BTC to discuss agenda item 7, which is a letter of commitment to support P4A response regarding the Office of Long-Term Living Application and Enrollment Services request for application, as well as agenda item 8 to discuss the Cumberland County Aging and Community Services draft policy regarding shared ride transportation. Sandy.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners.
I am presenting this letter for signature that basically confirms Cumberland County's commitment to P4A, which is the Pennsylvania Association of Area Agencies on Aging, to be awarded the contract for enrollment services from Department of Human Services. The letter is basically to be included in the RFP, which has not even been released yet. So this is very preliminary, but if awarded, P4A, the two P4A, the AAAs across the state will become subcontractors to provide disenrollment services for community health choices. We currently are providing the level of care assessment piece. This includes the whole enrollment process, helping like applications for medical assistance too.
Any questions for Sandy on that topic?
No.
Okay. Go on to agenda item 8, Sandy.
Okay, the transportation policy, I'm presenting this policy for approval. It has been recommended by the Aging Advisory Board. The most notable change is that we are looking to charge riders ages 60 to 64 $1 for a one-way trip. This is new. They are currently riding at no cost. There is a new change in the rate schedule. We just see obviously an increase in costs for transportation. We are hoping that twofold, that this will reduce the number of no-shows and help keep costs down a little bit. There's a few other changes. Right now, we have no charge for no-shows, and it's a very costly process for us every month. People who no-show, we are only going to send a letter. It doesn't guarantee that we'll get any money, but at least it is part of the policy that we will charge them the cost of the trip for a no-show. We are also changing a little bit of the language about essential trips that we prefer, and will make hopefully policy that people will go to the closest senior center, the closest grocery store, when they are requesting trips from transportation. It goes by zone and mileage, so by having them go to the closest.
Any questions for Sandy on that?
No.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 9, it's discussion of capital project requests, and I will call on Brad King, who is joining us VTC, to discuss 3 capital project requests for the nursing home. Hello. Hi, Brad.
Good morning, Commissioners, and everybody else. I'll start with the beds. We're requesting to purchase 30 new beds as an ongoing project to replace older beds that are older than 20 years old. A lot of these older beds we can't get parts for anymore. They're no longer available. We've been purchasing the same brand the past couple of years. With the parts to repair them are very reasonable. One of the benefits that they do have is these beds have the side expandable option that we can put a wider mattress on, and we are getting more and more requests for that. Instead of having to use a bariatric bed, we've been able to use newer beds that we can expand out wide. So what I want to do is get approval for this ahead of time, and I'm going to sit on it till direct supply, where we've been getting the beds from, which is Amerinet contract pricing. They have free shipping at various points throughout the year, and I think there might be one in April. So I'll wait for that free shipping opportunity, because that's a huge savings when you're talking 30 beds with the amount of weight. Any questions? If not, I'll move on to number 2 there, the miscellaneous dining equipment. I had actually put in $40,000 for this year. The next item is going to be in the same piece or amount. But the first one is the new fryer and the kit for the dining services department. We have a fryer that we had some problems with there about 2 months ago. Thought it was the control panel board, and we went to look to get a new panel board for it. Turned out it is no longer available. So when that panel board goes, luckily it was not the board, we were able to get it up and running. But once that board goes, we will not have a fryer. So I'm going to use that for the miscellaneous expenditure that I budgeted for. The fryer that we have is about 19 years old, which to me isn't old, but it puts you in a position where you can't get parts, you can't get parts. So I would like to purchase that, and that's estimated right around $20,000 for the fryer. Any questions with that? If not, move on to the last item, which is the two air curtains came out of that same amount. This is for $20,000. We have two air curtain refrigerators that are at least 20 years old. We're not even sure how old they are. They're reach-in refrigerators for the dietary department. Both units, the doors are warped. I was going to replace the doors, but the doors are over $1,500 each. And due to the age of these pieces of equipment, we've had issues throughout the years replacing parts, but it also has, I had on the capital request R22, I found out it's actually R12, which is even older yet. R22 is very expensive to get if we would have leaks, but R12 is almost non-existent to get it. So it does not make sense to put $1,500 in for new doors for these. It's time to replace them. With the doors being warped, they're not sealing properly, which is causing excess of condensation and also causing higher temps at times, which is a regulatory issue. So I'd like to purchase these two for $20,000. Any questions?
Yeah, I have some questions. I'm concerned about this causing higher temps. How long has that been going on?
It's more of a condensation issue. If they don't seal tight, the temperatures could be elevated. They check their temperatures on a regular basis, so it is not an issue. It's just it could be. The dietary is required to monitor their temperatures on all the refrigeration equipment.
So this hasn't
it just
appeared
puts
on
it at a higher risk.
Has this appeared on a Board of Health report?
No, it is not.
And how long will it take, when you order these refrigerators, how soon can you get them in and get them replaced?
They're fairly, I think they're stockable items, the ones that I'm looking at, there's all different types. There's actually some that are like $20,000 a piece, which is a high-end brand. The ones I'm looking at are around $10,000 each, and I usually ship is fairly quick, but I do not have a time ETA on them.
Okay, I mean, we can't be storing food at an inappropriate temperature.
No, it's just like temporary storage when they have them on the tray line. They're not always full. It's only when it's on the tray line.
Okay, thank you.
Right, pulling extra power to maintain those.
Okay.
Okay?
But we don't use them all the time. You're telling me we don't use the
You
refrigerator?
use them every day. You
Okay.
store your food products in the walk-in refrigerators and freezers.
Okay.
Then they pull them out and put them in these reach-ins when they serve the tray line, during meal, when they're preparing the trays for meal time.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome. You bet.
Next, I'd like to call Bob Shively to discuss the public safety capacity of Bob.
Morning, Commissioners. Public Safety is requesting authorization for procurement of the priority dispatch, emergency fire dispatch, and emergency police dispatch protocols. It's a not-to-exceed capital of $674,299. That's the estimated 5-year cost. The initial purchase will be for year 1 for all the software installation, training for both protocols, as well as the quality assurance software for both protocols, the training for all the staff, and certification. So each of those have a multi-day certification class that all the dispatchers would need to take and be certified. This is part of the requirements from the 911 Advisory Board last year that became effective this year for the new FEMA certification, training, and quality assurance requirements. And we were able to regionally apply for a grant through the 911 Uniform Fund, 15% competitive money. That was awarded and discussed, I think, 2 weeks ago to receive that grant. That grant covers $453,943, which is that year 1 cost and year 2 maintenance. So the only thing not included in that would be the accreditation fee, the $4,500 if we decide to do accreditation at some point, as well as years 3, 4, and 5 maintenance. So, but that will be, those costs will be eligible through the 911 regular fund as we do that year-to-year operation.
Any questions for Bob?
Yeah, but so I'm sure the year 3, 4, and 5 costs, you said could be eligible for the 911.
They are eligible.
They are eligible, all right.
But yeah, but we were not awarded those in the grant. They wouldn't have got that far with the grant.
Got it, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Agenda item 10, we received an email from Hubert Gilroy on March 2nd, recommending the following individuals be reappointed to the Municipal Authority Board for a 5-year term, effective retroactively from January 1st, 2020, and expiring December 31st, 2024. And those two individuals are Steve Old and Virginia King. So we are requesting that this be approved on Monday, after you have time to determine, if that's what we'd like to do. Do you have any questions on that, Commissioner?
Since it's retroactive, they're not asking for, I mean, I know they don't need to frequently, so we don't need any action for that.
No. No. Hubert was fine. Okay. Next we'll move on to Commissioner's liaison reports, and we'll begin with Commissioner Eichelberger.
Okay, I got a few items here, try to brief. One question before I forget, regarding the question on the proper contract forms that we have, could we simply put the expiration date on the contract with that? I mean, the contracts themselves would have expiration dates, so it would seem the simplest way to meet the need that we're discussing here of what's the term of it, would just be that we put the expiration date on.
I'm sorry, you're talking about what contract?
The contract forms, we had some discussion here a few minutes ago.
Oh,
the
forms.
Term of the contracts. If we just put the expiration date on and make sure it syncs up with the actual contract, because I'm sure the contract's showing an expiration date specified.
Someday.
Some are
indefinite, some may go automatically.
Okay, but we can still note that under, it seems to me the simplest way to do this would just be put space for expiration.
Right, the department head who puts it through should know the term of the contract. Although it continues to be a problem, we have it set up that they're advised when they expire, and invariably, it's always last minute. But putting it on that form, I think is a very good idea.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of one of the things I was getting at. I think we might be a little less inclined to miss those if there's an expiration date.
Our office has alerts set up in the system to advise them when it's going to expire months in advance.
Alert them.
So yes, the system alerts them months in advance.
Excellent.
And
we still
I
have
don't know what
issues.
happens.
I think speaking to what Commissioner Eichelberger is saying too, and to what you're saying, solicitor, that needs to be part of the P4P. If you can't get your contract renewals done in time, that's ridiculous, right? That should not be a last minute event. Legal work is not done well, at the final hour.
Absolutely.
So, Ron, in addition to that, I know we had some changes made on these contract forms numerous times, and is there an issue? Can we do it, or should we just simply write it on? I don't know.
The amendments you want to make now,
Yeah.
I think they're not part of the actual contract, they're an internal document, so I don't think we need to reprocess them, and we can just make the notes and change it and redistribute it to the commission.
I'm not sure that addressed what I was thinking.
No, we can definitely address adding to
Yeah,
the
just
terms
reformatting.
and formatting things you want on and off.
And there was
If you just-
discussion too about identifying the funds from the source.
Yeah, we can definitely add those things. I think we were talking about, Jean had mentioned about the Holly's 1 year, she wrote 1 year. I think we can just handwrite, that's not an official part of the contract, that's an internal document that we use in the process.
Sure, okay.
So yeah, I think we can maybe talk about changes to that form.
And these forms, I mean, they should absolutely say the dollar amount on it. Like, I'm a bit surprised by the amount of material that was missing on the forms today. That should not be happening.
It's been one of the issues.
That should not be happening.
Dollar amount, length of the contract. I mean, some of them have that, and some of them do not. The more info we get within reason. That's simple stuff that takes seconds of it all.
Those are pretty fundamental to our process here, so that's expired.
And we have talked to staff about that. If we get them in, they're supposed to check to make sure that everything is on good. I think with all the issues going on, and they're not being in the office because of
those things are gonna happen from time to time. I'm not in favor of us having a demerit system where people, but if you have any departments where it recurs frequently, then I agree that the is perhaps a waste of money.
And with Justin's two contracts, I think we had some confusion of what was going on with them, so that's probably why we missed him not having the dollar.
He's doing pretty thorough.
He's not a concern, he's pretty good. So I think we had some confusion, that's why I went through the process with your dollar.
All right, to my business here, I'll just try to move through these. Justin already addressed the grant, so that's going to move forward. That's pretty standard. We of course have a vacancy on the authority that we got the one passed away, and so we're going to have a vacancy there. My understanding is that the seat he occupied is suggested to be filled by someone with private solid waste industry experience, and it should be operating within the county. So, but the next meeting will be the opportunity for the authority members to discuss a replacement. So we don't have anything just yet regarding replacement, but that'll be forthcoming. So, he said he has someone in mind who could possibly fill that seat, so we'll be seeing that in the future. Also, the household hazardous waste, I've reported on before, we're continuing to roll forward on that. The first event is about a month away. It's going to be April 4th, Saturday, April 4th, 9 to 3. Right now they have 142 of the slots are taken, and there's 360 total, so there's still plenty of room. And so we have a month to promote that and see how rapidly they fill up. Obviously, we'll be interested in seeing how it syncs up with last year's usage trends. So more on that in the future. MHIDE, we had our meeting, which was 2 weeks ago today. So I'll just give you a quick overview. The budget proposal that the governor put forward was discussed. Obviously, it's just a proposal, nothing earth-shaking in terms of new monies. There are some specialty slots that are being made available to us, however, that sync up with the effort to reduce our consumption of the state hospital beds in Danville that we're currently using. So it is forward motion, not being limited, but we're hoping that all stays. We got a report on the continuous QPR training for suicide prevention, and the first responder community is where they're focusing their efforts for the remainder of this year. So that continues, will continue to roll out. We had a presentation regarding the social and emotional initiatives in early intervention. I think you've heard me say before, the early intervention function is something that's growing probably geometrically at this point, because the standards now include autism, the diagnoses as being eligible for early intervention programming, and of course that's creating a whole new class of entrance into it. So the state is, the governor's budget proposal is proposing some new administrative dollars for us because the caseloads are very heavy there. Last month we had 99 referrals for services. Now that's for the evaluation as to eligibility. That is the highest they've ever had, and we don't think that's going to change dramatically. So that those extra dollars are really very important. Let's see. Also, the presentation itself regarding the initiatives currently is being targeted at childcare facilities because there's obviously a huge level of increase in, how do I put it? I don't know what the correct way to say it is, but it's the individuals acting out. It's creating situations that traditionally would have been handled through either suspension or expulsion from the program. That obviously creates some real gaps in meeting the needs. So the state has become active in in promoting rapid response teams, and we are participating to have in rapid response teams to work with child care facilities in addressing those and getting professional assistance to those facilities whenever they encounter issues. The idea, of course, to lower the number of instances in which we have disruptive individuals being opted out of the system. The need exists there, so that's moving forward. The presentation was very interesting in terms of what the intent is. We'll continue to monitor that and see how that goes. But as I say, that's a region-wide initiative. Let's see, we have Capital Area Transit. There was a board meeting last week. I think we both received the update from Scott Weil in regards to continuing to forge more contacts with the South Central Transit Agency that is the parent of Rapid. So that continues to move forward. I'll be touching base with Scott to see if there's any more detail that he wants us to have or we need to have it. I didn't sense from that there were any other urgent issues that we could come forward with Commissioners. He otherwise is very diligent and with proper programs was proactive. I will check in with him just to be sure. The only other item I have is that, I shouldn't say it that way, is the Katie continues to roll forward with the visioning initiative. Let's see, we have updates coming on that in the near future. I was part of a meeting with Perry County officials, both economic development and Warren County commissioners, in terms of how we can help promote some regional cooperation in Perry County's efforts to try to promote some economic development opportunity there as well. By far, most of the working population in Perry County is leaving the county just for their daily jobs. A lot of them are coming here, and we certainly rely on this part of our workforce for their workforce needs. But Perry County needs some homegrown business, and they are diligently working toward that, and we've offered a considerable amount of assistance and guidance to them. It was very fine meeting. They seemed very appreciative, and it's a virtually no cost way for us to help promote regional economic development as well as partnership with the local economic development agency. The only other item I have, I think I'm not going to report out on, is the South Central PA works. We have I have a detailed summary from Jesse McCree, and Jesse wants to come in and present to us on a number of issues, which I had mentioned. I'm going to set that up. But he did mention at the meeting about something that the commissioners are likely to hear about, and that is there's new requirements in, I believe, federal legislation that is going to place a bigger burden on our career links. And of course, we have one here in Carlisle to help with job placement. And some of the new requirements in regards to medical assistance and SNAP are going to require more concerted efforts by individuals to get on the employment roles, and that's going to create a volume issue with our career links. So the state has really not, they passed the mandate, but surprise, surprise, they really haven't budgeted for it. So he's going to be talking to us about what needs that might create. And the reason I bring that up is because that's going to create a pipeline problem that's going to probably result in some complaints. So we're trying to get out in front of that. And I think Jesse went to talk to us about that in addition to a few other items. And there's two or three other items in here. I think I'll just put these in your writing, and I'd love to do that thoroughly. So I'll report out to you in writing if there's questions again. I'll bring them up at the next workshop meeting or any other public meeting we have. And I'll call it a day on that.
Thank you, Commissioner Eichenberg. The Children and Youth Citizens Advisory Committee, I see that there's a lot of social media going out about the need for members of this committee. There will be a meeting on May 5th from 6 to 7:30 at 16 West High Street on the 3rd floor. And people that want to be a member of that committee are encouraged to either bring their resume with them or to email it. And there's an email address in the social media piece. But we certainly need people to join that committee and take an active role in it. The local emergency planning committee, this week, I thought this was so interesting because I got to see this actually working this week. There was an accident on 581, a tractor trailer rolled, and the animal group had to be called out because there were live turkeys on that tractor trailer. So I thought that that was very interesting that all of that worked. And I do wonder about that particular bend in the road, that curve on 581, where I see tractor trailers pulled over frequently. So I'm interested to follow up on that. The library system board, they are in the process of getting their strategic planning together for this coming year. The planning commission, I haven't had a meeting since the last time I recorded. I have not had a meeting at the Stop Violence Against Women Task Force. The Western Cumberland Council of Governments, I have not been able to make it to a meeting yet because it conflicts with our Board of Commissioners meeting, and I really wish there was a way around that so that I could make it to some of those meetings. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Foshee. Commissioner DeFilippo.
Thanks, Sandy. You have 2 items to report on. First one is the Aging Advisory Council, but Sandy Guerreri pretty much hit on the main topics today in her report. Those being the support of the P4A response, the changes to the transportation policy. Also want to report our newest member, Susan Aguilera, her meetup attended our last meeting. Seemed very happy to be there. The other update I had is for the Cumberland County Housing and Redevelopment Authority. We met a couple of weeks ago. Actually, about last week it was. They currently have 3 positions vacant: maintenance tech, public housing property manager, and a laborer. The Housing Authority, Housing and Redevelopment Authority is working with our planning department indicated regarding the comprehensive strategy to address blight. I know those groups will be coming to a finance meeting, I think, March at 11th with more information. Work continues on a property at 149 North Pitt Street to remove lead and asbestos hazards. When that is completed, renovations will be completed. The property will be sold to a first-time home buyer. This home, by the way, was constructed in 1860. CCHRA is working on their annual and 5-year plans for public housing and the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Final plan will be reviewed by the board March 19th. The flats at Factory Square are starting to accept applications. Units will be available for occupancy in late May. And this is a new apartment community located at 238 C Street. Get a chance to drive by there, pretty nice, at least from the outside. The psychology intern started her work on February 3rd, and she'll be with the authority until early May, and she's working primarily with the Special Needs Housing Division. Just also want to note that I attended, as did Commissioner Foshee, an outreach meeting with our municipalities in Middlesex Township last week. Very good meeting, very well attended. Some items that were covered, presentation by Vector Control. KDIC, Jamie Patina was there and went over some of the many loans and grant programs that KDIC offers. And there was also discussion on the blighted property strategy. And next workshop meeting, I'll have reports on the Capital Region Council of Governments, Conservation District, and our Ag Preservation Board. And that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner DeFilippo.
Well,
I would like to report that executive sessions were held on the following days of 2020. February 28th at 11 a.m. and March 4th at 9 a.m., all regarding personnel issues. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board today?
Yes, real quick, my brain's moving here in response to the updates. Andy, I forgot you were still here, so generally if you're here, I'll give you the opportunity to add anything or to correct it. So did I get most of that right? Or was
You did a fantastic job.
Okay. Was there anything that I missed that you think needs to be before?
No, actually.
Okay, that's great. I have one question regarding the Western Con. Can we, since we had that conflict, are we able to send a survey, the
Generally, Gary, those meetings conflict, as Gene said, we need to ask them if they want to change their meeting time or response. But anyway, when the commissioner isn't figure out, noticed in the meeting, this is someone from planning usually attends. However you guys want to do that.
I had been the liaison there before, and it was always, we tried to hit, periodic meetings with them. I can't say that we're really missing much by being in, because just what you said, generally, planning is there, Bob, and you've been there a bunch of times. Sometimes, Bittner's there, we'll have 3 or 4 people there. And it's not always necessary for the commissioners to be there, but I think it's one of those where they would certainly like to have somebody there. There's a significant issue going on, a municipal concern that the county's involved in, but it probably would be handy just to know. I know we have an alternate for the capital region COG, but that's another commissioner. So I don't know that it have to be, but we could have someone that we designate, or if it's planning, that's fine, but we should be in touch with them to coordinate meetings.
If they're going to attend, in your stead, then they should be providing that.
Yeah, so.
I'll check.
All right, I think it just, they'll be sensitive to the fact, understandably so, that we make quite an effort to be at the capital regions. Those, of course, are evening meetings. So, and I know we had the same discussion previously about whether they could reschedule the meeting, and they have as much difficulty, if not more, than we do trying to find a time. So it's, we should just try to find something either where they are. So that's all.
Is there any other business that needs to come before the board today? Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned.